So you're thinking about making a move to Orange County and you're trying to figure out which city should you be looking in based on your lifestyle. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down the different kind of basic lifestyles and the best cities, or some of the best cities that fit each one of those different lifestyles, so that you might be expanding your search a little bit, hopefully find a new city and learning something new. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. I'm a team leader and owner of Onyx Homes, which is a real estate sales team that's helped over 700 people move just in the last handful of years. And we make this channel all about Orange County so that we can give you as much information as possible so you can make your next move hopefully a little bit easier. But let's go ahead and dive into the video. And the first thing I'm going to be talking about are young professionals. So there's two different cities that I'm going to mention for this specifically, and you cannot talk about young professionals without talking about Irvine. Now, Irvine is one of the most popular cities in all of Orange County for a lot of different reasons. And honestly, Irvine probably could have been chunked into a lot of different lifestyle categories because there's different segues, or different segments rather, of the city, which is common for a lot of these different cities. So if you disagree or agree with anything that I'm saying, put it in the comments down below because I'd love to see your take as well too. But anyway, for Irvine, there's a few reasons why I think it's a great fit for young professionals. One is it has a lot of really high-end apartments and condo kind of townhome living. So if you don't want a single family residence and you don't want all of the maintenance that goes along with that, there's a lot of different options. And frankly, it's one of the only cities that has like traditional high-rise style living. Another thing, there's a lot of job opportunities. So if you want to live and work in the same city, Irvine is the best in all of Orange County for that. There's a lot of jobs, there's a lot of stuff in Irvine, and it is the center of Orange County as well too. So those two major reasons at the top of the list for why Irvine is for young professionals. Now, if you want to have access to nightlife, a lot of times young professionals also want to have the ability to just to go out and do things. They don't want to drive all over the place to do it. Well, in Irvine, you're very close to Newport. You're rather close to Laguna Beach as well too, and even Huntington. But Irvine itself has a lot of stuff. So if you want to live in the city and really never have to leave it, Irvine's definitely on that list. Now, this second city that I'm going to mention for young professionals is probably the trendiest city in all of Orange County, and this is Costa Mesa. This has always been a hidden gem for a lot of different reasons. It was kind of overshadowed by its big brother, if you will, being right next to Newport Beach. If you're driving from the freeway, really from anywhere in Orange County, and you want to get to Newport, you have to drive right through Costa Mesa. And a lot of people, and honestly, myself, I grew up in South Orange County in San Capistrano. I didn't even really know Costa Mesa was a city up until later in my adult life, where I realized, oh shoot, what I thought was just inland Newport actually is Costa Mesa. So this is a really, really, really popular city for all of the reasons that both Irvine are popular and Newport. You're paying a premium, but you're not paying the massive premium that you pay for Newport, and it is very friendly for professionals because there's a lot of work in Costa Mesa as well too. There's a lot of work in Newport, and there's a lot of work in Irvine, and those are all three. Costa Mesa's right in between those two there. So that's one huge reason, but also for the same reasons we just talked about with Irvine, is you have a very unique lifestyle as well too. You have all kinds of different housing. You have stuff to do everywhere. Now, that's one of the best things about Costa Mesa is you have a very vibrant kind of nightlife. You have a restaurant life. You have different places to go. And there's a lot of other young professionals that are there as well. So if you're looking for like-minded, like similar people, both Irvine or Costa Mesa are going to be great places to look. And to be honest, if you don't have $5 or $6 million laying around to live in Newport Beach for the average price point, you can be in Costa Mesa for about half of that in the average price point. Obviously, there's prices all over the place. And I would highly recommend going to allaboutoc.com, drop your information, and get a full guide of everything about Orange County that you're going to want to know. But anyway, that's your young professionals, and we have videos on all of these different cities. So if you want the pros and cons of Irvine or the pros and cons of Costa Mesa, you can check that out as well too. Everything will be in the description down below. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about are the best cities for families, and I've got two listed here as well too. Ironically, I've lived in both of these, and I didn't pick these. So the first one is Ladera Ranch. I think especially for South Orange County, both of these cities are going to be in South Orange County. It's hard to beat Ladera Ranch. Now, Rancho Mission Viejo gives it a very close comparison, and to be honest, I would put almost these two in the same bucket. I'll talk about both together. Ladera Ranch is, I can't even imagine this is like Pleasantville for families. And I will say the city was very much geared towards young families. So when you look at the amenities that come with the city, right? When you live in a city, a lot of the times, the city itself doesn't really have amenities. Well, these new master plan communities that they built in the last 20 years and certainly the ones they're building right now, like Great Park in Irvine and like Rancho Mission Viejo, they definitely do, where everybody in the city gets all the amenities, which is really interesting idea, and I think this is a trend that'll continue. But in Ladera Ranch, for example, you have something like 26 clubhouses, a ton of pools, you have a middle school and 3 elementary schools all on the same street, you have farmers markets, you have parks, pools, there is a splash pad, so like think of like a Wild Rivers small water park, you have a skate park, you have dog park, and walking trails. The list goes on and on. There's so many different things in Ladera Ranch, and a lot of the amenities are for young families, right? There's not so much for the older, like teenagers and stuff like that. There's less stuff for that, but that's where Rancho Mission Viejo, I feel like, did a very good job. So Rancho Mission Viejo was built starting in like the, let's say 2016-ish, and they're still building out there now. They took everything Ladera did fantastic and added onto it in Rancho Mission Viejo. So they have pretty much everything I just explained. On top of that, they did a lot more amenities for older, maybe older kids, like older families, and the adults as well too. So I would say Ladera Ranch and Rancho Mission Viejo are probably the best for South Orange County for sure. Now, if you don't want to be in as much of a master plan community, and certainly if you don't like newer construction, Mission Viejo is the second city on this list for best for families. Mission Viejo is where I currently live right now. I've moved from Ladera to Mission Viejo, and honestly, we have a little one on the way. We'll probably be moving back to Ladera in the next handful of years. Mission Viejo is great because it is a lot more affordable than what you'll see in Ladera Ranch or Rancho Mission Viejo. The homes are older. The city itself doesn't have tons of amenities other than the massive one of the Lake Mission Viejo, which almost all residents have access to. But outside of that, it's going to be really dependent upon your actual city or neighborhood itself. If a neighborhood is in an HOA with a pool and a gate and all that stuff, like you're going to get whatever's in your neighborhood outside of what you get in the Lake Association, which is amazing because you have all kinds of stuff there. They do festivals, they do concerts, they do movie nights. You can rent paddle boats, you can paddle boards, boats, you can do all kinds of stuff. Lake Mission Viejo, honestly, is a very, very cool place to go. It's one of the largest it might be the largest man-made lake in Southern California as well too. I'm almost positive it is. It's also very central. It's a little bit more central than Ladera Ranch as well too. So if you don't want to pay the premium to be in Irvine, Mission Viejo is a really good alternative there as well. And obviously, probably should have mentioned this, as far as schooling goes, Ladera Ranch, Rancho Mission Viejo are some of the best schools in all of Orange County. And then Mission Viejo is right there as well too. I would say one notch below Rancho Mission Viejo and Ladera Ranch, but Mission Viejo also is known for very good schools as well. Okay, let's transition from young families and let's go to beach lovers. So if you love everything about the beach, I've got a couple cities here for you. Obviously, Newport Beach is one you're gonna have to check out. There's so many different things, and the reason I put Newport Beach on this list is because you get best of both worlds. You get beautiful beaches if you like going to the sand and like surfing and being at the beach like that. But you also have the harbor with all of the commercial fun stuff as well too. You got the fun zone down in Balboa, you have Balboa Island, you have the peninsula, you can go rent Duffy boats, you can go to restaurants right on the water, right? So you get the beach and you get the harbor lifestyle as well too, which is why I put Newport at the top of the list here. Now, in here, it is a very luxury beach experience. This isn't like we're just gonna take the kids down to the beach and kind of hang out. It is well, I mean, you can do that for sure, but generally speaking, it is a very luxury experience. For example, I live in Mission Viejo and I could go take a Duffy boat out on the harbor for 30 bucks, or I could drive up 30 minutes to Newport and spend a lot more than that. And it obviously being very touristy as well too, being Newport Beach, right? So there's kind of pros and cons there. It's very different. It's more of a busy beach experience as well too. But I put Newport at the top of the list because you get the beaches, what we think of when we think of going to the beach, but you also get everything with the harbor as well too. Now, the second city that I have on here is San Clemente, which is almost the exact opposite of what you would expect in Newport. San Clemente is just beaches, where you have some absolutely beautiful coastal beaches. You have some of the best surfing. You have very private, like just beach, where there's not a whole lot going on a lot of these. Like for example, on T Street, you can park, you can walk down to the pier, and then you have a trail pretty much that goes all the way from the south point of San Clemente at San Onofre all the way up to Dana Point. So that in my opinion is kind of opposite experiences. Now, what I would put probably in the middle of those two different cities would be Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach has a little bit of the vibe that you would get more so in Newport, a little bit more going on. There's more action, more touristy, more people. The beaches are absolutely massive. It's just sand absolutely forever, and it's all flat in Huntington Beach, which is a little different than what you would see in either of San Clemente or Newport, but definitely more going on, more of day life, if that's a thing, nightlife type deal, than you'll see in San Clemente for sure. But those are the ones, and obviously you've still got Laguna Beach, you've got Dana Point, like there's all the beach cities are nice for beaches. Those ones are more specific, especially San Clemente and Huntington. Specifically, people live there because they love the beach, generally speaking. Now, I'm gonna move to luxury living. There's two cities totally opposite that I'm gonna mention. Now, I will say, there's luxury in almost every single city in Orange County, but I have to mention these two, but they're totally opposite. Is Newport Coast, absolutely beautiful. These are large houses, as luxury as it gets. Pelican Hill, Crystal Cove, neighborhoods like this where you're gonna see homes ranging from 10, 5 to 50, 60, 70 million bucks. Very, very high lifestyle, very high-end lifestyle, very affluent crowds, and very close proximity. Newport Coast is probably as convenient as you will get for these really high-end luxury, very private neighborhoods. Now, on the opposite end of this, we have Costa de Casa down in southern Orange County, and this is all the way east, and this is kind of nestled in. A lot of people honestly don't really know too much about Costa de Casa, and it's like its own little world tucked into kind of the hillside Saddleback Mountains. Costa de Casa is very, very cool properties because it's different than what you would expect for a lot of Orange County. Coto has a lot of equestrian properties. It has a lot of like more compound style homes that you might think you'd see like in LA or something like that. And Coto is one of those cities where you really don't need to leave it. And it's a good thing because it is quite a ways out of the way. You're a good 20 some odd minutes from the freeway. Granted, you have the toll roads as well too, which runs right to Costa de Casa. So that's a little bit more convenience, I suppose, as well too. But that's definitely the number one complaint. However, you've also got the country club out there as well too. It is guard gated. It is very, very known for just feeling secluded, feeling safe, and it's a non-coastal luxury city as well too. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up with two different cities that are, again, totally opposites, but this is gonna be for if you're a retiree, if you're thinking, hey, I just want a slow, relaxing kind of retirement city. Well, here are two that are totally opposite, but are on the top of the list. Laguna Woods, you absolutely have to mention. This is a 55+ community. It's close to the freeway. It is very affordable in comparison to anywhere else in Orange County. And it's really nice if this is what you're looking for. I would say if you're looking for a 55+ community, you have to go look at Laguna Woods. In my experience, helping a lot of people move there and look there and sell there, you either love it and that's exactly what you're looking for, or you hate it and you never want to go there again. So if you're in that list and you're looking for that, I would definitely recommend checking it out. Now, on the opposite side of that, you have Dana Point. This is a coastal city. It is my personal favorite city in all of Orange County, and it has a downtown area that is getting upgraded. They are revitalizing the harbor, meaning they're putting $500 million into redoing the entire harbor. There are senior facilities. There are senior living there as well too. There's a 60, I think it's a 62 plus at for Sea Bluffs, which is more of assisted living type housing that you can own as well too. But just in general, if you're not 55 plus, Dana Point is more of a sleepy, really relaxed, laid back town. I really like this, much slower pace, but it still has that at-home feel, and it's getting a little bit more on the luxury side. They're redoing the harbor, which is going to make a huge difference. They put in a lot of commercial real estate down there lately that is going to really level up Dana Point from a luxury perspective. But there's also some crazy luxury houses. You've got the Strand, you got Monarch Bay, and there's a lot of pockets in Dana Point as well too, because frankly I could also say that it's great for families because there's good schools, there's a lot of suburbs and stuff like that, which honestly you're going to see for a lot of Orange County, that it really just depends where you're looking, what you're going to get out of it. All right, so if you're watching this video and you're thinking, all right, that's fantastic, but what are the best cities to look in? This next video I made for you is exactly that. It just goes over the best cities based on how popular they are in all of Orange County. So if you like this video, like the channel or like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to chat with me on my team about how we can help you make this move a little bit easier, go to allaboutoc.com, drop your information, and you can chat with our team. All right, I'll see you in this next video.